Hey, Tyann, Grant here. I'm just analyzing the design here from the architect. I want to point out a few things to you. Okay. Overall design, as far as the spatially how it's organized, I think makes sense. I have some issues with the plant selections. So one thing is lavender. I labeled everything you'll notice red, so then we can actually easily see what's going on. But where they have lavender, years ago I stopped using lavender because it's meant to grow in sand conditions. It doesn't like irrigation. So usually it dies out if you put it in an irrigated area. Alright, so I would end up possibly substituting some of these perennials for other perennials that give you the same amount of color but don't have issues in the future. Alright. Nepeta, same thing. I wouldn't use Walker's Low because that flops over. Gets too kind of tall and leggy and it flops over. I would use something called Blue Wonder Nepeta, which is a better variety of Nepeta. Only grows about 18 inches tall. You could use the Endless Summer and Twist and Shout hydrangeas. Those are rebloomers, but be aware that those do not guarantee to bloom. If you read the marketing material online, it says that it blooms every year. That's not true. If we get a really bad spring frost, then you'll wipe out the buds from the previous year, and a lot of the flowers do flower on last year's wood for that type of macrophylla hydrangea. Okay. One of my main issues I have with this design is there's absolutely nothing evergreen in any of these beds surrounding here. So during the winter, you won't have anything. It'll just be dead sticks. So what I was thinking is you might want to incorporate, for example, some sort of a hedge, whether it's more of a loose hedge like a laurel or more of a defined hedge to give you structure, such as a dwarf boxwood or American boxwood. If you did American boxwood, then you'd probably end up putting these along the back because those will maintain about 5 feet tall. Okay. If you do a dwarf boxwood, then most likely you would put these. The dwarf boxwood only grows 30 inches tall, so you'd put these here, here, and here, and then you take the hydrangea and move those behind because the hydrangea want to grow about 5 feet tall. So it's all about layering. You want to have shorter, then taller, then taller. So that when you're spending time here, you can see all the plants. So to try to get this more of a clean look and to also have winter interest and give you a little bit more structure, I would consider either using dwarf boxwood here, here, and here, and then moving these hydrangea and putting them here as one option. Or the second option, if you want a taller hedge, you take the American boxwood and you put those along the back, and then you end up using those as kind of your tallest evergreen. Then you'd end up having to use a different type of hydrangea that only grows 3 to 4 feet tall. So this way there are different levels. Okay. As far as irrigation goes, all the water around your pool right now slopes away from your pool. So there's a slope from here going this way, a slope from here going this way, and that's by design. So this way you don't have water from the rainfall going into your pool. Right? Because the slope is going this way, we're going to need, as part of the landscape project, we're going to need to put in little French drains in front of these planting beds. Okay, this way when your irrigation is running 5 or 6 days a week during the heat of the summer, you're not also having the water move from the lawn into your planting beds, which will then kill your plants. So that's something to pay attention to that most of the time is overlooked, I find, with other landscapers. Then you end up having a problem in the future. Okay. You have, for your tree choice, they chose Coral Burst Crabapple. It's a nice tree. It's going to stay, when you buy it, it's going to be relatively compact. It grows wide and short. So grow, 12 to 15 feet wide and only grows about, say, 10 to 12 feet tall. There are other choices, too, that you might want to consider. So perhaps I can give you some feedback on that. let's see here. They've got some knockout roses in here. The sun, this is north, so the sun comes up during the summer here and swings south and ends up over here. So you get morning sun in this area. You don't get afternoon sun. I wouldn't use boxwood and knockout roses together, because they both grow about the same height. And if anything, if you decide you want to add roses in here, then you got to use a dwarf rose, not a knockout rose. Knockout roses grow 5 feet tall, so it doesn't make any sense. Salvia is fine. PG hydrangea is fine. You can keep that compact. Limelight hydrangea goes 7 to 8 feet tall, so you should just be aware of that if you want something to grow that tall right there. You could use little lime hydrangea, which you can maintain around 4 feet tall. All right, as another option. Just throwing that out there. Hosta, I suppose you could get away with that because you're going to get protection from afternoon sun. Because again, the sun swings this way around the house. Okay. If it was me, I would actually consider using Annabelle hydrangea in here versus limelight, because the Annabelle grow about 5 feet by 5 feet, and they have big circular white flowers. And the limelight sometimes get too tall, so just something to think about. Let's see here. So I suppose what I really did was I focused mostly on this area for now. All right. And the main thing that I'm asking you is if you want me to rework this to design to incorporate some evergreen structure around the pool, or are you okay with the fact that everything is going to be died off during the winter? And the other reason I mention that is because around the rest of the house you have a mix of evergreen and deciduous, meaning that you do have winter interest, whereas here it's only summer interest. So again, something that we normally think about is trying to get interest throughout the seasons. So my opinion is that it would look better to have some evergreen added in here, complemented by a long blooming color, and that I think would look the best. So I can also spend more time kind of fine-tuning this design. Like I said, I think overall structure of where the beds are located looks good. I think some of the plant material choices don't make sense. That's just from experience and doing a lot of projects. So take a look at this and let me know your thoughts, and then I can revise the design for you and give you a quote based on the revised design. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Tyann. Bye-bye.